All right, guys. Welcome to that. This is that 4.6 function practice we did that I kind of forgot about, and we're going to be going over it on the test. So I wanted you guys to be prepared for it. F of 5, G of 3, like what we talked about today. You guys can do those, right? So we plug in 5 into the f function. So we get 2 times 5 plus 3 equals 13. Okay, and then g of 3, we plug in 3 for the x function, and we get, 3 minus 5, which is negative 2. Okay, and then f of 5 minus g of 3, well, f of 5, we already know the answer to that. That's 13, right? So we can just plug in 13. And then minus, so we'll do a negative sign. And then whatever our answer for g of 3 was, well, our answer for g of 3 was negative 2. Okay, two negatives make a positive, and so 13 plus 2 is 15. And lastly, if we have g of f of 3, we're going to start in the middle. Okay, and so g of f of 3, we're going to start off with f of 3. Okay, and just like this, we did f of 5 earlier, so we can do f of 3 this time around. So f of 3 equals 2 times 3 plus 3. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9. Okay. Now we're going to take that 9 and we're going to plug it into the g function. So we're essentially going to do g of 9. Okay, so whatever our answer is, we plug it into the outside one, which in our case is 9. And so we plug it in for x, so 9 minus 5 gets us an answer of 4. Okay, now our second one here, if you remember, different equations here. F of 9, so we're going to plug in f of 9, so negative 3 times 9 minus 7. That would be negative 27 minus 7, which is negative 34. Okay, now we're plugging in 2 to the g one, and so we get negative 2, because we plug it in for x, remember, negative x, so in our case negative 2, plus 3, that would be just positive 1. Okay, now we have this one, slightly different. So we'll do this one first, and then we'll do this one in red, and then we're going to subtract them. Okay, so first off, we'll start off with the blue one, f of 4. F of 4, that would be negative 3 times 4 minus 7. So that would be negative 12 minus 7, which is negative 19. So we got that one taken care of. And now the red, g of negative 1. Now careful with your negative signs here, right? Because it's negative x, so negative, and then whatever x is. And in our case, it's negative 1 plus 3. Okay, negative 1 is just positive 1, so 1 plus 3 is 4. And now our last step here, I'll do it in green. We're going to subtract the two numbers. So we get negative 19 minus, and then 4 for the other one, which is negative 23. Okay, now g of f of negative 2. Okay, so we're going to plug in f of negative 2. Do negative 3 times negative 2 minus 7. And negative 3 times negative 2 is 6. 6 minus 7 is negative 1. Okay, then we're going to take that negative 1 answer and we're plugging it into the g function. Okay, so whatever we get for f, we plug it into the g function. So g of negative 1 equals negative, so we have negative, and then our x is negative 1, right? So negative 1 plus 3. So this becomes positive, and lo and behold, we get 4. And we already essentially did that g of negative 1 up here. But so that's how we do the composition functions. Okay, so now we just made some stuff up. For this one, I'll make a new one up for us. Let's go. We'll just say 4x, and then over here we'll do 2x minus 2. Okay, we're going to skip all the way down to this one. Let's pick some numbers, and I'll just say 4 and 5. How about that? Okay, we just picked numbers. And so f of 4 equals 4 times 4 in our case, which is 16. Okay, and then we have g of 5. We're going to use the g formula, right? So 2 times 5 minus 2. And that gets us, what, 10 minus 2 is 8. Okay, so now we're going to take these two numbers, and what are we doing? We're multiplying them. And so 16 times 8, grab my calculator here, 16 times 8 is 128. Okay, lastly, now just be careful because in these last two we did g of f. Again, g of f of a number. Now we're switching it around, f of g. Doesn't matter, we start on the inside and we work our way out. Okay, so we're starting with g, and we'll do g of 1 in our equation, 2x minus 2, right? So 2 times 1 minus 2. So this is actually going to work out kind of interesting because 2 times 1 is 2, minus 2 equals 0. Interesting. Okay, so we can still do this. So now we're going to plug in the 0 for the f function. So f of 0 equals 4 times 0, and in this case we get 0 as an answer. Okay, so hopefully this helps as you're going forward. If you have questions, please let me know. That's what I'm here for.